Now, let me answer this question. Has the Bible been corrupted over time? The answer is no. The Bible cannot be corrupted. The Bible has not been corrupted, and the Bible will not be corrupted. Why do I believe the Bible cannot be corrupted? I believe the Bible cannot be corrupted because it has been preserved from generation to generation. The original manuscripts of the Bible have not been changed. Now, why are there different translations of the Bible? That's a good question. If the Bible has been preserved, then why are there so many translations? If there is one common manuscript, why are there different translations? Now, people who don't understand this will conclude that differences in translations mean that the Bible has been corrupted. Now, let me define the word corruption. Corruption simply means contamination. It simply means edit. The word corrupt in this sense means that something was either added or removed from the original text. Corruption might also be adding something or subtracting something from what is originally perfect, therefore making it imperfect. It's just like when someone is deformed. You're created perfectly, then you lose an eye, you lose a leg. Your physical structure has been corrupted, has been edited. So it's no longer perfect, it's now imperfect. That's what I mean. The Bible has not been corrupted in any way. The original manuscripts, the Hebrew, the Aramaic, the Greek, the Syrian, the Coptic, the Latin translations of the Bible that existed the first 10 centuries of the Christian faith, we still have these documents with us. These documents still exist. All the manuscripts for all the 66 canonized books of the Bible and other books that were not canonized, we still have the manuscripts in its original form. Nothing has been changed. So back to my question. Why does the Bible have differences in translation? A translation of the Bible simply means a way the Bible is written. Okay? And you must understand that the Bible is written in different languages in one transliteration. But when it comes to English, the reason there are different translations is because of the evolution in English language. Now, for people who don't understand, they immediately run off the mill and begin to criticize the Bible, saying that the Bible was corrupted as different translations were being made. But the truth is that English evolved. The King James translation is not the first translation. Before the King James translation, we had the Geneva Bible. The King James translation was put up by the late King James, was published in 1611 AD. And there are many other translations that have come out after the King James translation. We had the Geneva translation of the Bible. We have the Ethiopian translation of the Bible, written in Ge'ez, an ancient Ethiopian language. We have other languages of the scriptures that have been perfectly preserved. But when it came to English language, the first English translation of the Bible was produced and put together by a man called Tyndale. This man was heavily persecuted in Europe. He was burnt alive in 1535 AD and was killed because then the Bible was seen as an occultic book. The Bible was highly prohibited from private and public use. It was King James who lifted the second ban on the Bible. Remember, the first ban on the Bible was lifted by Constantine. And Constantine was the one who invented Catholicism at the Council of Nicaea. But that's a topic for another day. I want to give you history to make you understand that the Bible is not corrupted. Okay? I'm answering this question because there have been many debates around this issue of if the Bible is corrupted. So when it came to English, English language is not the way it is today. English language evolved. The original word for what we call English is actually Anglo-Saxon. English is a language that was formed from deriving words from other languages. English was the language that was formed from other languages. That's why you see English words having their root in French, in Coptic, in Greek, in Hebrew, in Aramaic, in Latin. Like where you say 10 a.m. or 2 p.m., a.m. there is antemeridium, p.m. there is postmeridium. Antemeridium means before noon, postmeridium means afternoon. You see that? Ante, post. You see that? When you hear the word democracy, for instance, in English, the root word for democracy is two Greek words, demo and kratos. Demo meaning people, kratos meaning government, people's government. And that's the meaning of democracy. Government of the people, by the people, and for the people, as defined by Abraham Lincoln. When you look at other words, you see that? When you look at other words, you see that English is not as it was, is not the way it is today. English, the kind of English we speak today is polished English. When you read the King James translation of the Bible, the English that you see in King James Bible was actually a form of English spoken by ancient people. If I read this literature text, Othello by William Shakespeare, you see the kind of English that is found in the Geneva Bible translation. So as English evolved, the Bible had to change its form. The languages had to be polished because English is one language that constantly evolved. You see that? While other languages have stopped evolving, English still evolves. There are new words being added to the dictionary every single year. You see that? So, as English continually evolves, new translations of the Bible keep on being produced to make those living in that generation understand what God is communicating. It's just like translating the Bible into another version of English, just as you translate it into French. And even in English, we have the Queen's English and the layman's English. Just like Hebrew, we have Hebrew and Aramaic. Aramaic is a higher version of Hebrew. And Jesus spoke Aramaic. So if you don't understand these things, you get confused and you start believing what you're not supposed to believe. The Bible is not corrupted. The manuscripts are not changed. The differences in translation were to aid people to read it. Even in Arabic, in Latin, there are different variants. You see that? There are different variants. In Coptic, in Syriac, you see that? Even in different languages. You see that? Even in Nigeria, as we look at it, there are many tribes. We are a multilingual nation. And so if the Bible is translated into Igbo, Hausa, Yoruba, or any other Nigerian language, it has to be put in the context of the language it's being written in. If that language evolves and new words are added in a way that it will be hard for the next generation to understand, the translation will have to evolve so that reading the Bible will be more understandable. That's why translations like the Revised Standard Version created by the Masoretes, the Good News Translation, which allowed the Apocrypha books of the Bible that were not originally canonized at the Council of Nicaea, those books are there. Books like Tobit, Susanna, Bell and the Dragon, Maccabees. These are books that are not canonized in the original King James translation, but the Good News version allows it. You see that based on differences in language translation does not change the word. And that's why I urge every Christian to be conversant with the root words. Because reading the Bible letter for letter may confuse you, especially if you are reading a hard translation such as King James. You see terms like canst, die, thou. See that? Wast, canst. Where thou cometh, goeth, dieth, liveth. People in this generation may find it hard to understand that. You see that? You see that? And you must understand the method of translation of those living around the time where King James Version was being published is more primitive than our method of translation in this generation. So you see there are already differences because of language barriers. The Bible is being put together so that people will understand it in every language. Even right now, there are many languages that the Bible have not yet gone into, and there are productions made for those Bibles to be written in those languages, to be translated, because people need to read the Bible in their native languages. You see that? Bibles to be written in Hindi. You see that? In Iran, we don't know the language they speak, maybe Persian or so. The Bible needs to be translated to Persian. How about Iraq? How about Nepali? The Bible needs to be translated there so people who cannot speak English, who can speak Nepali, will have access to the Bible. Understanding these things will help you understand that the Bible is not corrupted. Neither have the scriptures been changed. So anyone who tells you that the scriptures have been changed clearly does not understand what he or she is saying. Okay? Thank you so much. God bless you.